previous video, we spoke about the three elements: the chosen people, the chosen place, and the chosen times, a big date. And as you see, prophecies being fulfilled daily here in Israel as the Jewish people are coming back. Now, the first thing that we said that we're going to talk about is Jerusalem. What an amazing place. Did you know that Jerusalem appears the first time in the Bible? In Genesis, when Avram meets Melchizedek. And these two are meeting in the valley that is today called the Kidron Valley. But in those days, it was called Emek Shaveh, the Valley of Equality. And that's exactly what Jerusalem is. Even in the days of the temple, when people came here, everybody got equaled out. The rich and the poor, everybody had to give a half shekel. There was not somebody more important or less important when they stood before God on these high holy days. So firstly, we have Abram and Melchizedek meeting, and they met in the Valley of Equality. Melchizedek was the king of Salem. But now that we are here in Jerusalem and in Israel, I would like you guys to start learning the real Hebrew words. So Salem wasn't called Salem. Salem was actually called Shalem. If you want to try it, Shalem. Now Shalem, I'm sure for those who love Israel and for those who are interested in the Bible and the Hebrew Bible, for you that word Shalem will sound like a word that you also know very well, and that word is Shalom. Most people think that shalom means peace. We also greet each other here with the word shalom. But shalom, in its essence, actually doesn't mean peace. It means, on a much deeper level, it means harmony and balance and wholeness. So if I wish for you shalom, I wish for you to be exactly who God made you to be, without any baggage, without any chips on our shoulders, to get to the place of wholeness, and where you will be able to see other people also in that way. That will only be in the times of Mashiach, but we are so quickly moving towards those times, and we have to do everything from our side to make that happen. So shalom for each other is to basically start working on yourself and to get that balance and that harmony. Because in that balance and in that harmony, you will be able to really fulfill the call, or like we say in Hebrew, your tafkid, your job description, your vocation in this world. So that's shalom. And Jerusalem was called Shalem. And then just a few chapters after that, Yitzchak, Isaac, was born. And then when he grew up, and did you know that when God said, I want you, to Abram, I want you to take your son, your only son, your beloved son, Yitzchak, and I want you to offer him. How old was Yitzchak at that stage? He was already 37 years old. So Abram comes from Beersheba, from the south where he was living. And after 3 days, he stood on a certain ridge, and I want to take you guys there one day so that you can exactly see where Abram actually stood. But when he stood on that ridge, it said that God showed Abram in a distance the place, and that was Mount Moriah. We know that Abram didn't offer Isaac. God stopped him, and he gave him a ram in his place. But at that point in time, Abram called Mount Moriah, the place where all this, the binding of Isaac, of Yitzchak, took place. He called that place something. He called it Hashem Yireh. So let's sidetrack for a moment and speak about the name Hashem. When we as Jews speak about God, we refer to him as Hashem, the name. And this specific name refers to the ineffable name of God, the Yud-Kei Vav-Kei name. We do not pronounce it because it's a very, very, very holy name. So if ever you visit Israel and you hear the people speak about Hashem, that is us referring to God within the true essence of who he is. We will speak a little bit more in one of the other videos about the names and how important a name is. But let's get back to Abram. Let's get back to where he called that Mount Moriah, the place where this binding of Isaac took place. What did he call it? Hashem Yireh. God. It doesn't say God will provide. It says Hashem Yireh. God will make manifest. Now, the same root of Yireh also means reverential fear. So we have God's reverential fear is in this place, or God will make manifest. Now let's do a little bit of math. You remember that the place where Melchizedek was king over was called Salem. And this place is just on the southern slope of Mount Moriah. So we have Salem, and then we have this place, Mount Moriah, that Abram called Hashem Yireh. So we have Yireh Shalem. That's almost the name of Jerusalem. It means that God will make peace or wholeness manifest, or the wholeness of God will manifest from this place, or reverential fear of God will pulsate from this place. A very, very important name. But when you come to Jerusalem today, you will see that we do not call it Jerusalem, we call it Yerushalayim. Very, very important. 660 times in the Bible, Jerusalem appears as Jerusalem, and only a few times as Yerushalayim. Now, another quick lesson in Hebrew. If we look at, let's look at our face. We have a naim, we have oznaim, we have ktafaim. Can you hear that there are two? Now we have Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim. There are two. The Jewish sages teach us that there are two Jerusalem. There's a Jerusalem in heaven and there is a Jerusalem on earth. And I want you to stay tuned for the next video to see what is really written, embedded in this name. Stay tuned.